Hey LEGO fans, welcome to Brick TV. It's Chris here, back with another review, and today I'm looking at Marvel Superheroes. This is a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 set. It's 76081, the Milano versus the Obelisk. So this is the largest of three sets in the current theme. So there are three Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 sets. There were three sets for the first film back in 2014, and so this is the most expensive one. It retails at £44.99 in the UK, and it's $49.99 in dollars and euros. So, not £45 is not a it's not breaking the bank really. So it's nice that it's not a £100 set. In fact, all three of the sets have been, I think, quite reasonably priced. So what do we get? We get, I mean, as the name would imply, the Milano versus the Obelisk. So you get the Milano and you get the Obelisk. And we get 5 minifigures. 4 minifigures and a minifigure? I'm not really sure about the terminology. We get 5 figures. I'm just going to go with that. And so we've got Nebula, Drax, Gamora, Star-Lord, and Baby Groot. So, what shall we talk about first? In terms of the box is big. It's too big to go in the frame. This is about the largest size I want to see really in terms of Lego boxes. There are 4 bags of parts, and I mean there are 2 instruction books. You can see one at the back. That's the largest one. Still, the box is a little overkill in terms of the size, but it's nice. Standard shows you what's in the set and the various action features of it. So yeah, 2 instruction booklets. We get one very small one and one very large one. We've got the prerequisite comic book, which you get in all superhero sets. And this is the same booklet that's in the other 2 Guardians of the Galaxy sets. So you don't need to collect all 3 of the same one. The back of it is my favourite bit, which shows you the various minifigures from across this theme. What I really liked about these, the 3 sets in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 theme is that it's... you get all the minifigures, you get all the characters from the film. So you get all the Guardians and the bad guys in inverted commas, and it's not breaking the bank, and there's not much duplication, which is good because one of the complaints I had with the first theme for Volume 1 in 2014, there was 3 sets, but there was quite a bit of duplication. Okay, there was 2 Star-Lords. Actually, okay, just check everything I've just said, because now I'm actually comparing them. This is exactly the same. There was 2 Star-Lords in the first theme. There were 2 Star-Lords in this theme. 1 Drax, 1 Gamora, 1 Nebula, 1 Groot, 1 Rocket. So yeah, there's 2 Groots. Actually, technically, there's more duplication in this one than there is in the last one. Wow. I should have really thought about that before I started rolling camera. But I'm not complaining. In fact, I think it's positive. I think the spread of figures is good in these 3 sets. You get all the new characters, you get all the old characters in new costumes. There is no duplication in terms of the minifigures. They're not the same ones from Volume 1 that they've just repackaged in Volume 2. Some are very similar but subtly different. Okie dokie. So there's a lot to talk about. We've got some great minifigures, an interesting ship, a space beastie. So let's talk about. I'm going to talk about the minifigures later, and we'll talk about the ship and we'll talk about the Gribbly. So I'm just going to carefully get the instructions out of the way because they'll usually fall over. In terms of the instructions, now there's nothing. No, there's nothing particularly interesting. It's a very, very big booklet. And typically booklets this size come with a backing sheet or in a sealed bag. This has neither of those things, which leaves it a little bit open to damage, which would be bad. You get a big old sticker sheet, lots and lots of stickers on this. Some interesting ones, pinks, oranges, blues. I didn't hate putting them on. In fact, one of them I thought was a really good one, which I'll talk about on the ship. But yeah, lots of stickers. So what we're talking about, 14, 15. Yeah, 15 stickers. Some of them, there are some interesting shapes and stuff, but yeah, okay, not the end of the world. But you know, I like my printed parts. So let's talk about. We'll talk about the actual set itself and what you get first, because the thing about the superhero sets as a whole is they're usually not always indicative of the film that they're meant to be portraying, which is of course a case of the Lego get rough outlines very early on before the film comes out. They don't get to see the film early, so they can't, and they wouldn't make sets that give away the film, so they kind of get a rough outline, and the sets you get are not necessarily indicative of the actual film itself. This being a prime example, the Milano isn't featured in the battle with the Obelisk. The Obelisk is featured very heavily in the trailer. Giant pink space Gribbly, which the Guardians battle in the opening sequence, which is wonderful. The Milano is not featured. So technically, the Milano versus the Obelisk is fiction. Doesn't happen. But I'm not complaining, because it's a good way to get, you know, the ship and the beastie in one set. The other two sets from this volume 2 are not necessarily indicative either. It's kind of common, and I've learned to just let it go, and just be grateful for what you get. So let's look at these two elements separately. The first build in bag 1 is the Obelisk, which is a space Gribbly. This size-wise, this is all wrong. It's a massive creature, and so this is a very small version of it. But it was fun to build. It comes on a plate, you know, so you're kind of building this plate, and it's using studs not on top techniques to have it laid flat. It's got some Technic gears in it, which give it a little bit of nice action, rotation. There is nothing to crank, like you may have seen on some other models. You have to crank it by hand. It's just if you grab a tentacle or the head and start turning it, it'll turn. I kind of was expecting a rod or something to turn, but that's okay. It gives it a good range of motion, and I enjoyed building it. It's fun to look at. It's got some nice dark pinks, some light pinks, and some reds. Heavily stickered. The eyes are printed, thankfully. Those are the eyes that you may recognise them from the Doctor Strange set. It was 76060, the Sanctum Sanctorum set from the recent Doctor Strange film. So this is the second time they've been used now. Stickers on both sides of the Obelisk's head. And then we've got two stickers, one there and an identical one here, kind of showing it ripping out of the ground, which again is not necessarily accurate. But it's fun. It was fun to put together. Good clamping jaw action. Space for a minifigure to go. Well, actually, there isn't space for a minifigure to go in once with the jaws closed, but you can put someone in there. These are all completely, positionable, which gives it a lot of good range of motion. And I'll demonstrate on Drax. Because they're finishing with these elephant tail elements, they're really good for pegging minifigures onto. So you can do lots of. So in terms of play features, yeah, this guy's got it all. He's really good. Fun to build. Looks interesting. Really needed to be bigger. To be honest, this set should have been the Guardians of the Galaxy versus the Obelisk, and all the parts that went into the Milano should have been used to make this guy huge. Very, very big. That would have been cool, but I don't know how good a set that would have been. A giant space creature, but I suppose they needed the Milano, so that's what we've got it in this set. So okay, yeah, Obelisk, cool, good parts. If you just want to break it down, nice use of 1x8 tiles in black here, which I will be using. Yeah, okay, Obelisk was fun to make and interesting to look at. The main part of this set is the Milano, of course, which covers 3 of the 4 bags of parts. Signature ship for Star-Lord. This is the second time we've seen it. There was a version of this in 2014. This has been compared unfavourably to that, in that the general consensus is this is not as good as that one, and I would probably agree. In terms of how it looks, it's small. It's really small. It's not scaled correctly, but that aside, it looks good. It's got a really interesting cross section. It had some interesting techniques to put it together. Lots of posability. All these fins are posable. We've got hinges here. I mean, it's a tricky ship to do. It's tons of angles, and Lego have done a really nice job. The designers of this set have done an excellent job of getting all of these different strange angles working together, which makes it a good-looking ship. I absolutely can't deny that. This has got fins everywhere. There's posability all over this. And this is where the rest of the stickers go. They're kind of all over it. Which is fine. Special mention to the bubble canopy, which is printed, which is amazing. I'm used to Lego giving us stickers for canopies, I suppose, because this is a bubble that wouldn't have worked. It's not a flat surface, but yeah, nice. This is a unique combination, this bubble with this print. And yeah, it looks really nice. Works really well. We've got stud shooters here. I've just doubled up on the studs. You get 4 in the set. So yeah, in terms of armaments, it's quite light. So they both shoot off. I mean, there's nothing much else to it other than it's got. There is a little something to it. So it's good shape. It looks a bit rough on the underside, but that's to be expected. So we've got these bombs on the wings, which are activated by pushing down on this Technic axle, which should just displace them. Yeah. So the bombs are nothing else other than just 2x2 1-round plate, 1-round tile with a stud on top that goes it just pushes into this Technic plate, this 2x4 Technic plate. Just looking for the other bomb and dropping it. So yeah, so you can drop bombs. It's got stud shooters. So a little bit of play features. The best thing really I thought was in the cockpit. One of the stickers is Peter Quill's Awesome Mix Volume 1 cassette. That could be Volume 2. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's his tape player, and that's a sticker as opposed to a printed slope. But it's good. You can instantly tell what it's supposed to be. I like that. We've got some stickers on the inside there. So the cockpit is not particularly spacious, but I have to give Lego designers credit because you can get every figure in this set. You can get all 5 figures into the cockpit, which is not something that you see very often. Typically, you'll get vehicles, and it can't hold everyone. And if you don't believe, I'm not prepared to do it on camera because you've got to take all the accessories off, the jetpacks, and you've got to sit them down. It's a squeeze, but they will go in. Here it is on the box. Demonstrate for you though. So you can kind of get them in that diamond formation. Groot just has to drop in between the 4. There's nowhere for Groot to peg onto, but you can just drop him into the space between the 4 characters, and it will just sit in there. That's really good. I did not expect that. I'm used to kind of getting vehicles where you've got a set with 5 characters, 1 vehicle, and maybe 2 people can go in it max. So huge props to Lego for actually managing to get everyone into the vehicle. Yeah, big sticker there for the Milano. Stickers here. This is an interesting element. It had some really interesting techniques going into putting it together. And I quite enjoyed it. A little repetitive, maybe, the wings are identical, just mirrored, so it's the same thing twice. And there's nothing you can do about that. But yeah, I thought it was a fun, diverting build with some interesting techniques to get these strange angles. So credit to the designers for that. The instructions were good and clear. I included a couple of top-down views, which is really helpful because there was an interesting connection on these two, getting them in at the correct angle. So I enjoyed putting it together, and you've got a really nice mix of oranges and blues and light and dark bluish greys. Some light tan thrown in there as well. So lots and lots of these angular plates. It's very, it's very tempting to look at it and say, "Oh, this is a great parts pack." It's not really. It is if you want an abundance of angled plates like these. They are all over the ship. They're everywhere. They outnumber the rectangular plates quite easily. But they're in blues and oranges, which is not orange. Is certainly not a particularly common colour. You see a lot of parts in it in small quantities, but it's rare you get so many one colour orange in the same set. So it's got a good playability. It's easy to hold here, and it swooshes nicely. You can make all kinds of pew pew sounds with it if you were so inclined, which I now instantly regret doing on camera. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice looking vehicle. I don't think it's as good as the 2014 Milano, which tends to be common with Lego whenever they tend to do a new version of something. I don't know if it's just rose tinted glasses looking back and saying, "Oh no, things were better back in my day." Second versions tend not to be as good as the first versions, but this is if you haven't got the 2014 version, that's now long gone from the stores. You can only get it on the secondary market for buku bucks. This is fine. This is absolutely fine, and £45 attainable. I think the original Milano set was a bit more than this. I think it was 60, 70 maybe. Okay, so Milano, nice. Yeah, good. Really like it. So Milano and the Obelisk, yeah, they're good. And the set maybe took about 1 hour 20 all told, so which was a bit longer than I was expecting. So yeah, that was nice. And in terms of spare parts, we get the things you'd expect. So you always get one of each stud and plate, technic pins. In terms of weapons, spare sword, spare pair of handcuffs. Yeah, nothing particularly exciting about the spares. So really, that brings us on to the minifigures. I will, before I talk about it, I will just quickly look at these three things. The instructions kind of have these Groot holding them. They're so small. I think they're meant to be the batteries, which are featured. This scene is about the Guardians protecting the batteries from the Obelisk. So you get two batteries in this, which can clip onto Groot, and you get this. Now the instructions have this coming in the Groot stage. I have not got a clue what it is. It's not featured again in the instructions, and I think there was one picture on the box. I'm looking at the box now. I mean, it's there, just sat on the floor. I don't know what it is what I'm trying to say. I genuinely don't know what this is supposed to signify. I don't think it's a detonator. Oh, check this out. So yeah, so Groot's holding it there. Instead of the batteries. Seriously, guys, no clue. If you know what this is supposed to be, tell me. I mean, I have seen the film. I don't think it's a detonator. I don't think there was a detonator in that scene. No idea what that's supposed to be, but that's a medium blue lamp holder brick, so that's nice. So yeah, these are included. They're completely non-entities, so I'm not even going to talk about them anymore. Here we are, the minifigures, which for me are the main event for the set. So I'm really excited. We've got a Gamora, a Drax, a Star-Lord, a Baby Groot, and a Nebula, completing the lineup from the film. So in terms of the minifigures, like I've said before, they're all new versions. So there's no reproductions here. But they're all very, very similar. So they've all got some slight similarities. So we'll start from the left. So Gamora is using the same hairpiece as her previous set, which was the 76021 Milano Spaceship Rescue. So she was in the last Milano spaceship in 2014. So she's here again. It's the same headpiece and the same hands, but everything else is different. Probably the same sword as well. So it's that's a standard pearl silver sword. She's rocking a brand new torso and trouser printing. So basically, it's space armor, and it's a new head as well. So it's a double face print as you'd expect. So she's got a smile on this one, and on the reverse, she's grimacing. On the previous 2014 version, she had a grimacing face and a neutral expression. Or maybe she was smiling, but her mouth wasn't open. So this is definitely, it's a new head print, and it's just as good as the last one. Really nice silver highlights. Just looks really good. So a bit plain, the minifigure, but that's what she's wearing in the scene when they're fighting the obelisk. Drax, there is not a huge amount you can do differently with Drax. This is still a really good minifigure version of him. He was also in the 7602 Milano Spaceship Rescue from 2014. So he's here again in the Milano set. The torso is the same as the previous Drax minifigure. This is only the second version of Drax. That's the second version of Gamora. So this is the second Drax. The head is different. His last minifigure was a neutral expression, and now he's grimacing. No rear face, as you'll see, because it's got the back of his head printed on it. He's wearing brand new space trousers, so it's a new print for that. I think his last trousers were maybe even plain, and he's just dual wielding his knives. So yeah, really good angry Drax, which fits in for this scene because he wants to fight and kill the obelisk. So we've got a Star-Lord, or Peter Quill. This is the 4th version of Star-Lord. The second from the 2017 theme. There was 2 in the previous 2014 theme. And all 4 have been subtly different. Now you may notice, so this took me by surprise, but Gamora and Star-Lord are wearing the same outfits. They've got the same armor. And they are identical. I've been comparing them side by side. Well, they're not identical. They're the same printing, but the silver on Gamora seems to be a little brighter. I've looked at them in great detail, and they're definitely the same print. There is no difference in the lines. But Gamora's silver looks deeper. But they're definitely the same torso and legs. Obviously, Star-Lord's got flesh hands. He's rocking his dual pistols, which he's had in all of the other existing sets. All the 3 previous sets as well. Just like Drax, he's got this neck brace, which is because these 2 are using a jetpack. So they've got jetpacks on the back, which you'll see when I spin this around. So we've got the neck brace, then the head. That's the standard Chris Pratt head, which has been used on all Chris Pratt minifigures. So all Star-Lords, all Owens from Jurassic World, and it was even used for the Winter Soldier from the other Marvel sets. So it's the Chris Pratt head, basically. There hasn't been a Chris Pratt minifigure that doesn't have this head. He's got the new hair for this year. In the 2014 sets, the hair was a different one, different sculpt. So this is a newish hair sculpt. It's quite rare, and it's got a nice pattern on it. It looks really good. So he's got a dual expression, which we'll look at when we get to the back. He also comes with a helmet, which is good. So you can take the hairpiece off, and then the helmet fits over the top. That's really nice. Gives you a bit of character. Gives you some options as well. I think compared to the 2014 sets, I think it's the same element, the same mold, but the printing is better on this one. The eyes in 2014, they didn't have the white innards. They were just solid red. So I've compared the 2, and this just looks like it's got much better printing. It's just an updated version of that part. I believe. I genuinely think it's the same sculpt. Just looks better. So this is a good, if not slightly plain looking Star-Lord, because he's not wearing his kind of Ravager outfit. And onto Baby Groot, who for some people is the star of the show. So this is the second Baby Groot in this theme. So there are 3 sets and 2 Baby Groots. This is him from the beginning of the film, naked. So he's not got anything on, as is his way. In the previous set, 76080, which is the medium price range set from this theme, he's wearing a Ravager outfit. So this is it's the same sculpt. It's the exact same molded element, just different printing. But this is definitely a better Baby Groot, I think, because he's not really supposed to be wearing clothes. So yeah, cute. One stud underneath, so he's got a one stud attachment here, and his hands it kind of clips, so you can clip things onto him, like the batteries that we talked about earlier. And finally, last but not least, we've got Nebula, who's looking really, really annoyed, as is typical for this character. She's the one who most resembles her 2014 counterpart. But it's a really nice update. So she was in 76020 Nowhere Escape Mission from 2014. And so this is very, very similar. The dark purple hips are the same. They're just plain dark purple hips. She's got a pair of handcuffs, obviously. The torso and the face are very similar but not identical. So this new head is it's got a much more angry expression, slightly better printing, I think, as well. The torso, I think, is a really nice touch. It's the same design as 2014, but it's been ripped up. Can you see the damage on it to represent her journey since the end of the first film, which is a really, really clever little touch that Lego have done. So she's wearing the same outfit as we saw in 2014. It's just a bit worn with age, and equally the hand in the 2014 version, both hands were purple. She still had the silver arm, and then of course, if you remember, in one of the final scenes of the first film, she detaches the hand and escapes, and so they represent that here. She's got a new silver hand instead of the purple one. So that's a nice touch. So spinning these around, we'll very quickly, because I realise the video's getting on. So good rear printing, again torn up. Again, the head is really nice. No rear printing on Groot, I can see. So Star-Lord is the same back as Gamora. So he's got Star-Lord and Drax have both got these rocket packs, which is basically just a 1x1 black plate with a binocular attached to it. Simple, effective. And I'll take this opportunity to take some hair off, and we can look at the rear prints. So yeah, there's Chris Pratt's angry face. There's just Drax, the tattoos on the back of Drax's head, really nice, intricate. I mean, big shout out to Lego for the detail on Drax is terrific. On the arms, on the back, it's really fine printing. And there's Gamora's angry face, which is different to the angry face from 2014. Okay, so that's everything. So good minifigure selection, and I think not bad vehicle and play features as well. So I think for £44.99 in the UK, 1 hour 20, I think I said, in terms of build time, 460 parts, 4 bags, 5 figures. Yeah, I think this is really good. I think you need this set if you're trying to collect all the Guardians of the Galaxy from Volume 2. You need all 3 sets. You've got no choice. But the lower price tag makes it much more easily attainable, and for you get 4, 5 good minifigures. So right here you've got 4 out of the 5 Guardians of the Galaxy from the original lineup. You're just missing Rocket Raccoon, who is in 76080 Aisha's Revenge. He says no, he's not. No, he's not. He's in the 1999 Ravager attack. Yes, glad I corrected myself. No, he's not in Aisha's Revenge. So that means you can get all 5 Guardians for, what is that? £65 RRP in the UK. And then if you want to get Yondu, he's in I think it was a £30 set. So anyway, moving on. So you've got a really good minifigure spread. You've got technically a bad guy. You've got Groot, Star-Lord, Drax, Gamora. That's great. That's a really good lineup of characters. I'm not a huge fan of the plain silver battle armor that Gamora and Star-Lord are wearing, but it's accurate for the film, for the scene. That's true. That's true to what they're wearing. Drax is looking terrific. Nebula's looking angry, and Baby Groot is cute and small. I'm looking forward to the next Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 to see how big Groot is going to be. So, good minifigures, decent build time, and the results are good. I think there's a lot of playability here. there's a lot you can do with this. And in terms of part pack, it's not the best parts pack in the world, just because so many of the elements are these wedge plates, these angled plates. I mean, there are so many of them in this set, so many. But some interesting colours though, pinks, oranges. So I recommend this simply because you need it to get the Guardians of the Galaxy. I can take or leave the Milano and the Obelisk, to be honest. I'm not interested in play features personally, but if you are, I think this is a good set. I think it does all of the above. You've got good play, good parts, good minifigures, and a good price. Good build time as well. So yeah, I recommend this. I really don't have anything bad to say about it, I don't think. Overall, great showing from LEGO on the Guardians of the Galaxy sets. All three have been good and reasonably priced as well. So roll on volume 3. So until then, right, so this has been my review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, 76081, the Milano vs. the Obelisk. I hope you found it interesting and useful. If you have, please, do the usual. Click like if you don't mind, a little thumbs up icon. And as always, please subscribe. And if you'd like to share this, we would be happy for you to do so. It'd be nice for more people to see these videos because LEGO is amazing, isn't it? And we need to get more people building. The more people who build LEGO, the more sets LEGO will make, and the happier we're all going to be. LEGO is wonderful and everything is awesome. Right, okay, that's it for Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll be back soon with more reviews. Probably Marvel superheroes. Who knows? So I'll be back soon. So thank you and happy building.